Hey guys, welcome to yet another video review of Motoroids, and this time we have the all new next generation Volkswagen Passat with us. And in its new avatar, it boasts of a lot of new features, a new design and a lot of new things inside the interior. So let's have a look at the new car and see what all wonders does it pack in. The Volkswagen Passat is powered by a 2-liter diesel, which also does duty in a lot of other Volkswagen family cars, including the A4. So obviously this engine is sufficiently powered, if not something which is a thrill monger. This engine is a 2-liter turbocharged unit with 177 HP of power and 350 Nm of torque. And this engine has all the qualities that an ideal diesel engine should have within this category. It's very refined, it's very linear, sufficiently punchy. And most importantly, this is very frugal as well. So since we have been driving for about 200 kilometers now, we have received a fuel efficiency of about 14 kilometers to the liter, which is pretty good. Apart from the engine, the transmission is a 6-speed DSG dual clutch transmission, which is tried and tested, and obviously is one of the best units around. You also get these pedal shifters. Apart from that, you can also move to the sport mode from here. You can also choose modes by pressing this button, and you can choose from Eco, Comfort, Normal, Sport and Individual mode, wherein you can choose all the settings like steering and transmission and all the other things by yourself. One peculiar thing that I wanted to state here is that from my field of vision, I cannot really see the mode button. So I think this layout is for the left-hand drive countries, and this has not been altered for right-hand drive countries like India. So this is a bit of a peculiar thing about the ergonomics, although this is not something which is a deal breaker, but for the driver I really think it should have been better had he been able to access the mode button while he could also see it. Now, one very important thing that we need to know about these modes is that unlike a lot of other cars where these modes only control the steering weight and the transmission's alacrity, the Passat also comes with something called dynamic chassis control, wherein going into sport mode or the comfort mode would also alter the settings of the suspension. The dampers would be stiffened. So that's a great thing to have within this segment, and within this price range is quite a rare thing to have. In terms of driving, this engine, as we said, is sufficiently powerful. There is nothing to complain about, although obviously it's not as powerful as say a 2-liter turbocharged petrol, which would give you a bit of an adrenaline rush. But for all practical purposes, this car can reach speeds which are well above 150 kilometers per hour. It would easily nudge 200 kilometers. And unless you're looking for sheer sportiness in your car, I think this car's engine and transmission is a very good combination to deal with all the everyday conditions and to suit your mood when you want to go canyon hunting on the odd weekend. Coming to ride and handling, now the dynamic chassis control can be felt very clearly at work. So when you put it in comfort mode, this car absolutely glides over undulations, rough surfaces, paver blocks, small potholes. There is very little road noise from here. You can feel the suspension and the dampers being set in the soft mode, so there is no crashing happening over even the sharper ridges. However, the moment you move to sport mode, there is a very pronounced difference in the way this car behaves over rough surfaces for obvious reasons. But it's not just about the stiffness. You can also feel the car crashing over potholes and sharper surfaces. You can hear a distinct thud. So in that sense, you can clearly feel the difference in terms of the ride quality of the car when you move from comfort, which is absolutely spot on, very quiet, no road noise, nothing, very well insulated, to moving from sport mode, where you can actually feel the car creating a bit of noise while moving over rough surfaces. Apart from that, in sport mode, the steering also gains weight, and although I would not say that this car is meant for an out-and-out enthusiast, it holds its line very well. It's got a set of very planted wheels around the bends. It also keeps its composure. The steering is not particularly feelsome, but it's very precise and it has the right weight in the sport mode. In comfort mode, it gets light. So this car can be a bit of a fun when you want to drive fast. Although this is not an out-and-out sporty car and meant essentially for families, so it does its job well. It can be your comfortable cruiser. It can also quench your thirst for some fun when you want to take it out for that fun ride around the weekend. So a very sorted package in that sense. In terms of the design, the face of the car gets a 3-slat grille with the Volkswagen logo sitting in the middle. The headlights here are all LED with cornering lights along with an LED DRL. The new Passat is the template of typical copybook understated European lines, and it's very sophisticated, and to the purist and for someone with a trained eye this would appeal a lot, because sophistication, as they say, is in simplicity, and it's not an easy feat to achieve. But for someone who wants his car to stand out in the crowd, probably he would be a little disappointed. This is for someone who likes his cars and the other things in his life to be a little more understated and refined than a lot of other people. We've talked about the front. If you come towards the side, you'll see that the simplistic straight cut lines have been continued on the side as well. There's a very strong crease on the shoulder which defines the move forward stance of the car. Its solid build, along with a premium chrome lining under the doors. The lower portion of the doors have been scooped out for an added character at the lower portion. The wheels are 17 inches and are shod with Hankook tires, and they look rather smart. This is the Highline variant, and in this one the door handles have been painted in body color, and the greenhouse area also gets a chrome lining. The roofline has been sloped, and if you look closely you will find a dash of sportiness in its profile, although it's still very understated from profile as well. Moving towards the rear, the lights have been done in modern LEDs, and they look rather nice. It's a complex design, it's not as simple as a lot of other cars. The trunk lid is simplistic and carries forward the simple design of the front and the profile. What's interesting is, as with a lot of other Volkswagen cars, you have to open the boot by pushing the Volkswagen logo in. That's a neat touch, and it's power operated. So you just have to press a button to put it back in place. Another interesting thing with this car is that you can swing a leg under it and the boot will open by itself, so you don't have to use your hands if your hands are full with bags. If you've just come back after a shopping spree, you just have to swing your leg, as I just demonstrated, to open the boot. So that's a great feature to have. Talking about the boot, the space inside is pretty generous. It's close to 600 liters, and there's a lot of space here to store the luggage for a family of 4 for more than a weekend, and going for long trips with family would not be a problem. Lift up the flap and you see a full-sized spare, and this is not even a steel spare, this is an alloy, so that's a great thing to have. Most of the cars skimp on this factor, and I really think that's something which is very important, so that's something that we really appreciate. The Passat's key gets a proximity sensor. It's also got a remote boot opener, so you don't have to use the key to get in. Just yank the handle and you get in, and we'll talk about what all features are there inside the cabin. So the first thing that you'll notice with the interior of the new Volkswagen Passat is the fact that, just like the outside, the makers have not tried too hard to make the interior stand out with a lot of flash, a lot of bling. It's very understated, although the quality of the materials is top-notch, and the features and the functionalities, the ergonomics are spot on. So for someone who appreciates the car working silently without trying too hard to show you what it's doing, this is the perfect package. Although for someone who wants it to come across more visually, probably he would be a little disappointed. There are some neat touches which people who have a refined taste would definitely appreciate. Things like these wooden inlays, very high quality wooden inlays. This clock right here in the middle. Even the seats are high quality leather, and they are ribbed, styled in a very classic manner. And if you look at these headrests also, they are adjustable not just for height but also for the angle at which they support the head. So that's something that you expect from a premium car, and the Passat delivers there. So this would go a long way in ensuring that your drive is fatigue free. In addition, you have all the controls right here in front of you. They're pretty intuitive as well. The instrument console is packed with information, and it's pretty easy to navigate through menus, and all the information is right there. So while driving, it's very important that you can navigate very easily to an information that you want without having to fiddle too much through the controls, and in that sense this setup works really well. It's simple, very informative, and doesn't try too hard to impress. The speedo and the tacho are analog, although the MID in the middle is a digital unit, and is packed with, as I said, a lot of information, so you can navigate through all the menus without having to climb a very steep learning curve. Talking about the comfort for the driver, the steering wheel first and foremost is adjustable. You just have to press this lever and you can get the steering in the right place without much problem. You also get these paddle shifters, which are very handy when you want to be shifting the gears manually. The seat also is adjustable electronically, so that's another feature which is required in premium cars, and the Volkswagen Passat duly delivers. It also gets memory function and it gets lumbar support as well. So in terms of comfort, in terms of the controls of the seat, bolstering, the support you get, the thigh support, the back support, this seat has been very well made, so you can look forward to driving long distances without having to worry about comfort or fatigue at all. So that's one thing that's very important for a premium car, and I think the Volkswagen Passat delivers on that count. In terms of the storage spaces, as you can see here, we have placed a 1 liter bottle, and then there is some space here which you can probably use for a cell phone or something, but obviously this is not a map pocket, so you cannot put a document here. In addition, you get 2 cup holders, and there is some space under the armrest where you can put in a wallet and maybe a small phone, although I really doubt whether it would be able to fit in a 5.5 inch screen cell phone, which is in use by most of the people these days. If you look at these 2 sockets here, there is an aux-in and then there is a USB socket as well. So these are the 2 sockets you have here. In addition, the glove box has a CD unit, and the space inside, although not very generous, is not too bad either. It's a cooled compartment, so you can have your drinks cooled, if not chilled, by placing them there. You have to have those cans in a small size though, because this cannot accommodate much. So that's one thing. An interesting inclusion in the infotainment system is the Think Blue Trainer, which tries to tell the user as to how he can enhance the fuel efficiency of the car. As you can see, it's showing me the fuel efficiency that I've achieved. That's 12.7 kilometers to the liter since I started. But if you press this button here, it will show you what you can do, some simple tips to enhance the fuel efficiency of your car. So that's one interesting bit we have seen on the infotainment system. In addition, you get all the vehicle controls, all the stats. It's got a TPMS, tire pressure monitoring system, and you can control a lot of stuff from here, including the lighting, the air conditioning, and a lot of other things. It's quite an extensive menu to be fully covered here, but it covers a lot of things which typically most of the everyday cars don't, and it's packed with features, and it's pretty intuitive and simple as well. Talking of air conditioning, the car comes with 3-way climate control, so you can control the climate for the front 2 passengers and the rear section as well. So that's a great feature to have. In addition, the front 2 seats also come with heating function. Although we wonder why in a country like India this has to be the standard function on cars, it would be much appreciated if the heating function is replaced with the cooling vents, which make journeys in hot weather really more comfortable. In cars like the Hyundai Elantra, you get that feature. Even the new Verna has that feature, and we really think that that's something that premium cars in India should have as a standard fitment. It goes a long way in ensuring that your back, which is most of the time stuck with the backrest, doesn't sweat out, and it really adds to the comfort factor and the convenience factor. So in addition to the features that we have just talked about, this car comes with all the electronic aids. It comes with traction control, it comes with as many as 9 airbags, and it's packed with safety. It comes with hill hold control. So in terms of driving aids, you have a lot of features which most of the everyday cars won't have. A special addition here is the park assist, which can parallel or perpendicular park the car all by itself. We'll show you in another video how to use it to help you park a car in a tight condition, and this is something which is a top-notch technology and something which is very appreciable for a car this class. Apart from all those features, the Passat also gets a sunroof/moonroof, and although this is not panoramic, it's still a great feature to have on a car residing in this class. So the quality, the comfort, the features and everything from the drivers and the front passengers perspective are top notch. Let's move to the back and see what the state of things is like there. Let's go. At the back, the space is pretty generous. In fact, it's as generous as it gets. The headroom is also pretty decent. I don't have anything to complain about. There's an armrest here which is pretty wide, 2 cup holders in the middle, and it's a pretty nice place to be in. The under thigh support also is pretty good. The angle of the seat, the backrest, all of it is just about perfect. I feel comfortable. One of my colleagues who was sitting here in the back seat while we were driving also approved of quality and comfort at the back. You also get these blinds which is operated from a button up front. So during the hot sunny summers, this can be a bit of a respite. And for the side, you can do it manually like so. So that's another great feature to have. Now the other thing that we have to talk about is the legroom. The seat is set to my driver's position, and still there is almost about 3/4 of a foot left to spare, so that's great amount of space. It's proper limousine kind of space that I have here. And as we all know that the Volkswagen Passat and the Superb have been known for their enormous legroom for the backbencher, and the tradition continues, I would say. What you also get at the back seat is this AC vent, and this is not just a blower, this also gets temperature control, so that's what makes it a 3-zone climate control unit, which is again, you know, a great feature to have, especially for a car this class. All in all, a great place to be. The back seat is as good as it gets. The transmission tunnel also, although it's there, it's not as wide as it is there in some of the other cars. This is a front wheel drive car, mind you, so this thing doesn't have to do anything with the shaft going back. This is just there. And talking about the space for the third passenger, although the center part here is a little raised, it's wide enough, we think, to accommodate a third person, because the width of the car is sufficient. So if you have to make 3 guys sit here, there won't be any problem for short to medium distances, although very long distances may be a problem, but for short to medium distances there is enough width there, and there is space for a third person to be accommodated thanks to the overall width of the car. So the back seat of the Passat is impressive, and I think it's one of the most comfortable and generous seats you will find anywhere on a car in this class. So thumbs up to Volkswagen for that. Parting thoughts, the Volkswagen Passat retails for 30 lakh rupees for its comfort line variant, and 33 lakh rupees for the highline variant. And while some may say that it's a little bit on the expensive side, it's always about the way you look at it. For the kind of features that this car delivers, the kind of space that it has, the kind of engine transmission, the kind of way it's designed and built, the way it drives, and the safety features that it packs in, there are very few other cars in the segment which can match it. I would go to the extent of saying that even a few segments above the cars cannot match this one in terms of the safety features, the interior, the equipment, and in terms of the kind of features that it packs in. So if you are looking for a badge, probably you would want to trade it off with something else, but if the standalone features of the car, the way it's designed, the way it drives, and all those sort of things as a product is something that really matters to you, I think this is a perfect package. Although a comparison is always going to be made with the Skoda Superb, and just to let you know, it's a couple of lakhs more than the Superb. But then again, we would say that there are a few clear highlights of this car which the Superb doesn't have, including the badge. Volkswagen badge sits higher in the Volkswagen Group family worldwide, and you have to pay a bit of a premium for that if you want this brand over the Skoda. We hope this video was informative and you liked it. If you did, please like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll be coming back with more such video reviews very soon. Thanks a lot for watching.